G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we're going to have a look at probably the highest kill count I've had in ARB this year. A 7 kill game in my La-5F. I was using this plane to grind out, I think, the winter event that just came by, where we could get the NC900 and the P40C. Now, this plane is probably one of the best planes to go and do that with, because it's one of the few planes that are tier 3 and a really low battle rating. You could probably also use this to go for, what are they called? Wages. There we go. Finally got back to my head. You can use it for wages. You can also just use it to have fun. You could use it to grind your tier 4s, throw a talisman on it. It's a really good, versatile plane. I've even played it so much that I've unlocked the extra camo on it. Now, the La-5F, you progress from the La-5. You unlock straight after, and the La-5 is a brick. It's absolute rubbish. The last time I flew it, I didn't enjoy it at all. It was basically just a Lag 3 with a better engine. But that didn't really do anything. So I found that when the La-5F came along, I wasn't really expecting anything from it. I was expecting it to be another La-5, just to be a brick, just to be rubbish. But it turns out it's actually quite nimble. So much so that if you have a bit more energy on a Spitfire and you pop those landing flaps, you can outturn it. And you'll see something of the sort in this battle. It has 2 Shvaks, and the 2 Shvaks are really, really good. They will absolutely devastate at this tier. Maybe you'd need to put a few more shells into a bomber, or you'd need to put a few more shells into a P47 or something with a really tanky damage model. But for Spitfires, you can clean them up easy. Zeros, you can clean them up easy. BF-109Es, you can absolutely destroy them. Maybe the G2 you'd have to put a few more shells into, but for the most part, it's pretty good. The ammo does wonders. I'm using the ground targets belt, which everyone tells me is the better one to take. But realistically, I've been told that there is no single belt of the Shvaks that works particularly well. So you could use the default belts if you wanted to. I don't know. Just when you have a look at the belt, maybe see which one works for you. So, for example, if you want to load high explosive, you go for the wings, and if you want to use armor piercing, you go for like the engines, the fuel tanks, maybe the pilot, something like that. But here I am in the La-5F, climbing to altitude, just doing a leisurely climb up, just straight up into the enemy. I'm not really expecting this much. It's a bit of a down tier. I'm just expecting everyone to sort of lumber around at 2,000 meters, and for the most part they sort of do. You got a couple of Spitfires up at 4,000 or 5,000 meters, and that's really about it. The enemy team didn't really bother climbing, and they didn't really bother using their guns effectively. As you can see in the corner of the screen, there's a buffalo, and they're not climbing at all. So it's pretty much in the bag, in the enemy team's hands. They've chosen to not climb, and as a result have given themselves a massive disadvantage. Particularly because planes like the P-38 on screen, Spitfires, early P-47 maybe, planes like them require altitude for the second supercharger gear, or for first supercharger even, to kick in and to give them a lot more engine power. Now, the Russians don't have that because their benefit is low altitude combat. not necessarily low altitude turn fighting, but if you can take the fight in, say, a Spitfire up to 6,000 meters, you'll outrun a Yak 9T in a Spitfire. It's very, very, very doable, and that's where the weakness of the Russians lies. But this being a lower tier, the players are a bit less experienced. They don't really know the importance of climbing, and as a result, I've just got 3 pretty much easy kills here, in the form of 2 Spitfires and a P-40. Now, we've got a Russian P-40 up here with us, so I've got to keep in mind my team. I go for a quick shot on the Mark II and miss. Now, I've been told the only difference between the Mark II and the Mark I are like very minor, different propeller and I think something else. But the P-40 goes into a stall. I pop him very, very quickly, go for the altitude, and go for the rollback onto the Spitfire to try and save this P-40. I don't roll in time. I should have probably popped some flaps, and you can see the P-40 is just having a bit of trouble there. The Spitfire goes off and to engage the other friendlies, so I just go for a few shots, see if I can pop him, and boom, easy. The two Shvaks, they're only two cannons, but they are mounted close together, so when they do converge, they will do a lot of damage. And that's my second kill. Now my third kill here is a bit messy. I go for the shot and I miss. I should have had him there. I should have had him. And then I pull back into him. I should not have done that at all, because if the Spitfire was paying attention, he could have had me very, very easily. So I can see the Spitfire is now stalling out. So I try and pop flaps, try and roll around onto him. And I know that Spitfire will be focused on the other planes, and boom. Very, very nice shot. The Shvaks doing work, both of them converge and completely destroy him. Now, I'm just going to switch to the next clip because nothing happens for a little bit. Everyone sort of spreads out, goes to the deck, so I start farming a couple of ground targets, just for a bit. I don't know why, I don't necessarily need it, but I go for a funky head-on with this P-40, who, like, I don't know, maybe he didn't see me or didn't realize, but I only got hits on him, unfortunately. He seems to be running, so I'm in no mood to chase him. Don't really feel like it. The P-3, sorry, has that covered, I guess. And the P-40 does the smart thing and turns around. Only problem is he's turned around right towards me. He should have kept evading gently, and then I get sparks. So I just pop my flaps, go for the re-engage, because I have all the energy I want, I have all the turning power, and the Shvaks absolutely destroy him. Now, because I've been farming ground targets, I've realized that I can't help my enemy. Can't help my ally, I should say. I can't go and take out those Spitfires. So there's my big mistake. I shouldn't have gone for the ground targets. I should have kept my ammo and conserved it so that I could go for the Spitfires in order to save my friendlies. But they shortly end up dying, and I have to return to base. So there's one less friendly and, a lot less ammo, and I would say that I'm one of the better players on that team. Now, I've gone back to base, rearmed, climbed back to altitude, and popped an Avenger. I'm looking all over for that Spitfire and the A-36, which is spotted on the runway. Now, I can see the Spitfire is climbing, so he sort of knows what he's doing. He knows to climb, he knows that altitude might be important, so I got to take that into account. I've got to play safe. I can't just turn with him. And he doesn't see me. So here I am coming in at high speed from below, and I only get his cooling. I go straight up, because I know that I can definitely out energy him. I've got 400, 500 kilometers per hour, and he'll probably have 300, maybe 350 at tops. And now he's in trouble. He's at an energy disadvantage. He should have turned a bit more. And he's using a really weird method of defensive flying. Sort of like a turn and then a slight pull, and then a neg-G and then a turn and a slight pull. Just to sort of throw me off, and now he's going back to his airfield. So I realize that I've got to pop him now. I try and work out his pattern. See what he's doing there. He's not doing a full roll, he's doing a sort of half roll, which I've never seen before. So it caught me a little bit off guard. But there we go. One good shot into his fuel tank, and it's on fire. And there he goes for my 6th kill. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Who's left? Just the A-36, still camping on the airfield. So I don't really like airfield campers. I'll go strafe them out anyway. Doesn't matter how long he's been sitting there. He's sitting at the back of the runway, and he's looking straight down the end that you take off on. There we go. So I just go for the strafe, hope for the best, and there we go. Last man standing, and the winner. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, let me know what you want to fly, or what you want me to fly next. But until then, have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.